We're live. Hi, everybody. It's On the Stick After Dark. My name is Joe Drilling, and joining me as usual is Eric Allen,
Wait, the Joe Drilling?
the one and only. Actually, I think there's one other Joe Drilling somewhere in the country, but I don't know. We're probably distantly related, but I don't know for sure. I'll say yes, I'm the Joe Drilling. Are you the Eric Allen?
I don't. I can't really hear you very well.
No, lovely.
You are a bit choppy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just
I
getting.
can hear you okay, but you're choppy.
Wait, I thought it was Joe.
It's
No, it's the
uh,
choppy drilling.
yeah, apparently. But I can see my. What the fuck? Cute. I love that the minute that I go live is all of a sudden when my internet decides it doesn't want to play nice anymore. So that's cool.
Smoker does say, "I'm here. You can start."
I did see that. Yeah.
It's appropriate.
Yep.
My favorite person that participates in all this stuff that I don't actually know.
All right, so I have. Did I introduce you, Kurt? I don't remember. And did people hear it even if I
You
did?
didn't.
I don't
I'm here.
know. You're there. And Mike is around here somewhere. I don't know what's up with him, but he
He's
will.
not on the channel.
No, but he's online. He's showing online right now. So.
Well, can't believe everything you read.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So, well, anyways, I have this that I'm gonna open up, and I'm gonna play some games off of it if the stream fucking cooperates, which I mean it should. Now YouTube is saying I have an excellent connection.
So this is the official console of Kurt Busiek's exciting comic book series.
Yes, yes,
Definitely from that.
definitely from that. Definitely from that.
Definitely.
I'm trying to. This is lovely. I am currently trying to figure out why the fuck my output is so bad. Because I did a speed test like a half hour ago just to make sure that my upload speeds were good, and they were. And now it's.
I don't. You're not like outputting at a super high bit rate or anything, are you?
3500 is what it's set to in OBS. Yes, maybe. I mean, it could just be
Well, no,
YouTube's
while we're
like shit is not good. But you know,
while we're piddling about, I'll note that at some point last week we talked about VVV and how I could install it on my Steam Deck, and that might be a thing I wanted to do.
yeah,
Yep.
And then I doed it,
Mm-hmm.
and then Monday night I think
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, let me make sure that it's all working and fine, and then I played like 2/3 of it, and then the next night I finished it. So
Yeah. Once you
the
know,
game's really fucking good.
yeah, it's pretty easy to burn through it.
Although
Once you
some
have,
of that shit is still really
yeah.
fucking difficult.
Did you get all the thingies or whatever they're
I got
called?
13 of them.
Did you do the
I
hard
went
one?
I went back last night to fill in parts of the map and things, and spent, I don't know, 15 minutes or so, 15-20 minutes trying to do Vini Vidi Vici, but not succeeding.
Yeah. That one's a toughie.
That is a toughie. I know it's possible because I've done it before.
Yeah, if you've done it once, you don't have anything to prove to anybody.
It's true.
Yeah, that's one of those things. It's like,
The worst thing I remembered later that I'm like, I remember doing this and then getting all the way back down and ending up on the wrong side of the fucking block by mistake, which essentially means you don't get the shiny thing, and you gotta do
oh
it again.
yeah, Jesus.
And it's like, oh my fucking god, I almost pitched my 3DS across the room when that happened.
Good God.
Garrett, that's what it's like in my world all the time.
Yeah, that's because you're immersed in Kaiju World, and also Kaizo World, but Kaiju World is more fun.
That's right.
Lothra has an excellent time in the Grand Poo world.
What's King Ghidorah up to these days with their mods?
Oh, just always showing off, playing 3 games at once.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, King Ghidorah doesn't have extra hands, right? So,
It's true. He just has 3 heads.
yeah, can he play 3 games at once? I feel like.
Yeah, he bought a
Annie.
U-Force.
Oh, okay. But 3 U forces.
He's got a-
It would have to be,
He's got a
right?
stinky headboard.
Yeah, I mean, with three U forces and a stinky footboard, then King Ghidorah could theoretically play 4 games at a time, hypothetically.
How many feet does he have?
He has 2 feet. He's a tail too, though. So
He does have a tail.
No, the tail plays the U-Force, the feet use the footboard, and the hands control the game. That's 3 games.
yeah, that makes sense. All right, so I allegedly the connection is stable now. We'll see how that actually plays out, of course, because again, like my internet's been fine all day. It only gets shitty right when I'm about to stream. As mini V, V for vertical, of course. So let's see here.
So why isn't it the mini TATE or TATE?
Taste.
Because my understanding is that TATE actually is the orientation of the way the game scrolls, not necessarily the monitor, maybe?
Just be getting quiet in here.
No, it's not just you. I just got an error from OBS that it was disconnecting because it wasn't like pushing any data through, which again, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know what's like sucking up all my bandwidth, but anyways, we're back on excellent connection now, so I guess I'll resume what I was saying. So yeah, I don't know, man. The V stood for a bunch of different things. I think it's, I don't know, just a marketing thing. But anyways, regardless, it is in fact a TATE-oriented system, so it has a little instruction manual that I can't read because it's all in Japanese. Of course. I used to be able to read some Japanese, but it's been a minute. All right, and we have the top cushion, I guess, that is also packaged from, and I guess this is an HDMI cable. It is. It's an HDMI cable, which presently I don't actually need. And then a USB cable, which I assume is for power, which I will need.
One presumes Cameristica says, "Yo, Jacob."
What's up, Cameristica? Alright, so let's get Lord. God. Alright. HDMI cable we won't be needing. USB cable we probably will. Set that aside. And then I think this is just empty. That's just padding. Just empty. And there she blows. So, yeah, joystick clicks a little bit. It's got some kind of micro switches in there. I don't know how high quality. This doesn't feel as good a quality as the first one, honestly, although it's been a while since I've busted out my first one, my original. But I have heard people say that there are some quality control issues with this one, we'll say. So we'll see how that plays out in real time. But on the back, it looks, like a thing. This looks like a compartment that could hold something, but it's not. I think on a real one, this is where you switch out the boards. Like, you pop that open, and then you would change out the board, because that's the whole idea behind these candy cab styles, which you don't see in the US very often, is that, you can switch out a board really easy and then just, like, change out the marquee. When you go to Japanese arcades, like, they're just lined with these style of cabinets. So
I just noticed you got 6 buttons on that thing. Are there any vertically oriented 6-button games?
I mean, there probably is somewhere, but there's not. There was 6 buttons on the original too, and none of the games used 6 buttons. So I guess it's just a standard layout. Like, maybe the idea was, like, we'll put a expansion pack of some sort that would have a 6 button. Actually, maybe one of the fighting games in the first one did have there was one 6 button game. But I don't think even that game was 6 button. So
You didn't get Radiant Silver Gun or something?
that's a good question, actually. Maybe that would be it. Well, technically, the arcade version has only 3 buttons, and each of the secondary attacks you have to hold 2 of the buttons to do the, like, on the Saturn version, the top 3 buttons do the combined attacks, but in the arcade version, you have to hold 2 of the buttons at a time to do it. So I don't know. And I'm just making sure, but that looks like it is. That is really all that's in here. So not super fancy with the packaging on this one. Not a lot going on in here. So let's get some power. Let's get some juice run into this thing.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh no, guys.
None.
Hello?
Hi, Alex.
Hi, Eric.
How you
Hello,
doing?
Skyler.
I'm alright. How are you guys?
We're keeping on trucking,
At least we're trying to, anyways. I don't know if I actually have a power brick, like, immediately handy in here.
Heard every other word.
Yep.
Joe doesn't have any power near him, so he's fading.
Yeah, he doesn't need it for the arcade thing.
Needs
He
it
needs
for
it to
himself.
plug himself in. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's his robot voices coming through.
Yeah, apparently. What the fuck?
Oh shit, there's a pirate outfit.
That would go get well with a corncob gun, I think.
Yeah.
But what you really need is like a stovepipe hat and a.
Abraham Lincoln?
Well, no, yeah, well, no, like a character from a Charles Dickens
Oh,
thing,
okay, okay.
like a corncob pipe, or like Frosty the Snowman, I guess.
Sure.
Let's see here.
having internet trouble and is trying to figure it out?
No, he's trying to actually get the electricity thing going, realizing that he needs power and such.
Yes. True.
All of his
Astro
hamsters
City.
died, so he doesn't have any
Yeah.
power right now.
Hamsters.
Rip
Are you-
hamsters, yeah.
Are we streaming right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Theoretically, yes.
Yeah, kind of.
Rip to those hamsters, but I'm different.
Well, you don't sound like a robot at this moment, so that's good.
Yeah, that helps.
He plugged himself in.
Yeah,
So-
right. Guess I could just plug it into one of the USB.
I'm not entirely sure about that. You don't have like a phone charger around?
Not in my immediate vicinity, no. Let's find out. Find out together.
Now that like it turned
Yeah,
on.
Yeah. So there's that. So let's. Oh, I lied.
Yeah, I did hear something yelling.
Yes, yes.
Sang the siren song of Sega.
Apparently, I do need this USB or this HDMI cable.
Oh, fuck.
You okay, Alex?
Yeah, I'll be alright. I forgot to pick up potions, though, but whatever, it's fine.
Okay. Oh, it has an English option. I don't remember if the last one had an English option right on the main screen there, but this one does, which helps. Does it have a volume control? Actually, I don't.
What?
It's Untitled. So, let me get this plugged into the old capture card, and then we will see what we see.
Game audio is very, very loud.
Better? Worse?
Yeah.
I turned it way down in the mix, so that hopefully helped.
It's still way, way, way loud.
Is it really? Okay.
Way loud.
I wonder if that's like coming from my. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do.
That's better, I think.
Some of it might be that it's coming from the my monitor speaker.
Yeah, it's pretty reasonable sounding now.
Okay. Now I'm just trying to adjust like the size of the. There we go. Effect. We'll go with none for now. Maybe once we're in a game we can. Oh, please read. Take a 15-minute break every hour. Blah blah blah. Okay, great. So.
15-minute break every hour. That's what everybody does when they play video games. Right, guys?
All the gamers I know. All right. So the weird thing about this is that actually there are not all that many. So we've got Moon Cresta, which is Nichibutsu joint. We've got Zaxxon, which is a Sega game. We've got Terra Cresta, which is the sequel to Moon Cresta, obviously. We got Cosmo Police Galavan. There's a lot of Nichibutsu games on here. We've got Action Fighter, which is a Sega game. I think most people probably know it a little better from the Master System port. At least people in the Western shooter. So, that's going to be, I guess, not technically a straight up shooter. Raiden 1 I think is the only Raiden game on here. I'm kind of surprised Raiden 2 isn't on here, but I know that MAME had problems running Raiden 2 for a long time. So I don't actually know if it's easily emulatable at this point. Desert Breaker is a Sega game, but I don't know anything about it. Dogyun is a shooter, reasonably certain. And also I think this is the first time it's been released anywhere outside the arcade, which is neat. Sonic Wings is a shoot 'em up. Truxton 2, this is weirdly also the first time Truxton 2 has been released outside of the arcade, if I'm not mistaken. As I mentioned a couple weeks ago, M2 is planning to release every single Toaplan game in a modern compilation at some point. Like, they're going chronologically through them all, so I'm sure they'll get to Truxton 2 eventually, but Sega beat him to it with this thing. This is the first re-release of Truxton 2. Batsugun is the last Toaplan shooter. This happened right before they closed their doors and split up, and people went off to form Cave and Rising and all that stuff. VV is
the prequel to VVVVVVV.
Yes, it's actually V5. Sorry, is the correct pronunciation, not VV. V5. We know it here as Grindstormer, and this is an interesting game because it's actually
we don't.
That.
Nobody's ever
Stormer because the Genesis port. It's like a relatively expensive Genesis game. I think it came out like after the Saturn was already out, if I remember correctly. And it is like way too much game to really be ported to the Genesis, but they gave it the college try anyways. So that's kind of why that game is known in some circles. Samurai Aces or Sengoku Ace is a Saikyo shooting
Did you say
game.
Son Goku Ace?
Did I? No, I said Sengoku Ace.
Okay, well, it's hard to tell because every other word sounds like a robot, so.
Yeah, I'm really stoked about it. Kingdom Grand Prix is like it's a rising aiding joint that is like a shoot 'em up and a racing game in one.
Cool.
It's kind of weird. Yeah.
You got a mantle.
Who's got a mantle?
Me.
To put your trophies from Kingdom Grand Prix on, or?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, to make into pants.
Oh,
It's
okay.
far more important.
Right. Gunbird, I think most people, that's a Psycho shooting game. Strikers 1945.
Gunbird?
Yes, Gunbird.
You don't want to play the sequel Shitbird.
Is it a bird with
Trailer
a
Park
gun?
Boys tie-in shooter.
Yeah.
Is it
Or
a
the
bird
wire,
with a
yeah.
gun, or like a spaceship that's like bird-like, or like?
I'd use that to play it to find out. But Gunbird 2 It was released on the Dreamcast by Capcom, and you can play as Morgan from Darkstalkers, and I think there's another Capcom cameo, and now I can't remember who it is, and that's only in the Dreamcast version of Gunbird 2. So... Strikers 1945 was Psycho kind of doing a spiritual follow-up to the Capcom 1940X series. I don't think the Strikers...
I didn't realize that was the point of those.
Yeah, that was always the vibe I got. I don't think any of the Strikers 1945 games are as good as that. Also, there was another version of Strikers 1945, and now I can't remember what it's called, but it was made for the Neo Geo, so it is a Yoko vertically scrolling shoot 'em up, or a vertical, as you might say, Mike.
Sure would.
For the Neo Geo. Yes, it's
Yeah, what's so hard to understand about that, Alex?
Yeah.
Huh? You're going vertically. Your screen's horizontal.
Now, Mike, if someone was to make a shoot 'em up where the monitor was in a TATE orientation, but you scrolled left to right, what would that be? Hortical? Okay, all right. Armed police.
So if it's vertical, couldn't you just call it like wide or like thick boy or something like that? That seems more.
They had not invented boys in the 90s, Joe. Alex.
Well, Joe should know this too.
Yeah, but I do know that.
Oh, okay.
Armed police Batrider, which I believe Mike has some recent experience with.
Oh, just enough to boot it up.
Yeah, because there's a rising core on Mr. Now, recent release. So, Battle Backraid is another aiding game. Oh, sorry, Battle Backraid Unlimited version, which I think this is also the first time this has gotten an official release outside of the arcade. And that brings us back to Moon Cresta. So now that we've taken a look at the library, anybody have any picks for like what I should play first? And hopefully the stream plays. Shoot rapid shot. Please ignore any Japanese regional warning texts. Okay, sounds good. I will.
I won't, and they can't make me.
Oh, the controls in this game are so weird. I mean, Mike's not wrong. I guess I'll just say that.
Give it like 3 minutes.
Yeah, this is a game that I think is like capital I important for its time, capital N not fun to play. in 2022.
Capital GG, get good. Capital Z, zip it.
Kurt is his accent fan.
Also, you're not necessarily really wrong.
So this game is noteworthy because it was basically an early attempt at doing a full 3D shooter using an isometric perspective, and in relation to something like Galaga, which was I think the same year or just the year before. Like, this looked pretty fucking impressive next to Galaga, but also Galaga's just like a lot more fun to actually play is the thing.
The play is the thing.
I mean, Star Fox was impressive at the time, but that game's also kind of like shit.
Yeah, Star Fox 64 is absolutely like the realization of what Star Fox 1 was trying to be.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Star Fox 1 is alright.
It's fine.
64 is fucking great.
64 is fucking great. Agreed.
I take a little bit of issue with Star Fox 1 is alright.
It's alright.
At like 12 frames a second.
It does, but it at least it's like a pretty consistent 12 frames a second. Like, it never just like locks up on you. You know?
Uh-huh.
Damned with vain praise.
I mean, yes.
I get it.
You convinced me, Joe. You convinced me. Who needs all those frames?
That's right.
Don't get
It's just for posers.
Prima donnas.
Oh, look,
not
man.
Get addicted to frames.
Oh no, I don't know how to escape. How do I escape
So
the
how
pull
come
of
Zaxxon you're shooting up a
Zaxxon?
PCB? That's what I never understood about this game.
Because it looks fucking cool, Mike.
Those capacitors are gonna leak.
Okay.
Nerd alert.
Okay, there's like a combination of buttons to do like a quick rewind.
Alex, Joe's playing Zaxxon on his tiny arcade machine. Like, I think the nerd ship has sailed.
Look, here's the thing.
Alex is
I don't know
playing
what that
Monster
means.
Hunter, so like, I mean, the nerd ship
Yeah, I'm
sailed for
playing a game
him.
I'm playing a game that's good. Here's
Well,
the thing, though. I don't know what Zaxxon is. I mean, I know what it is by virtue of you guys talking about it now, but like, I don't.
A pretty
know
easy
what
way
it
for you to find out, Alex.
is. I know, but
True.
I'm fighting a dinosaur at the moment.
I'm sure if you just hold on a second, it will be fine.
How do I get out of the game? That's the real question now. How do I exit this fucking game?
Have you tried turning it on and off again?
I mean, I was kind of hoping it wouldn't come to that, but no, I haven't tried that yet.
And yet,
Is
There
a
should
menu button on
also,
that thing?
I was gonna say, I feel like there should be a menu button or something, but there does not appear to be a menu button or something. Like, there's a credit
You got a
button
paper
and
clip.
a start button.
Is there a fart button?
All the buttons are fart buttons.
Yeah, on Zaxxon, all the buttons
Got
are fart
him.
buttons. Like, the real reason this thing should have 6 freaking buttons on it is so that, like, one of them jumps to the menu. My god. Okay. I guess we're gonna try turning it off and on again. Yes, see you. Thanks. Nope. And then, of course, my computer monitor, trying to do the right thing, jumps back to the wrong input.
Alright, you can pick a fun game now and play it for a while, so you don't have to do this again.
I
the
appreciate
Astro City
that.
heard you and wouldn't let you stop.
Ryan Keen says, I've been playing True Crime Streets of LA. Do you like GTA
I'm sorry.
clones?
Only when they are,
Fun?
yeah. No. Yes, but that's not what I was going for.
Only when they're...
Sega.
Only when they're... what was the... I guess it wasn't even really a GTA clone. What was the one that Namco did? Dead to Rights. Was that even really a GTA clone? Was there much of an open world? I don't remember now. It had a good dog. That's what I remember about that game.
It had a good
very
dog.
good dog. All right.
I
and
was
we're
gonna say only if it's Saints Row, and really only if it's Saints Row 3.
Yeah, or
Saints
4
Row
is
4 was
okay.
okay. Yeah.
I mean, I played some True Crime back in the day, back in like 2003 or whatever when it came out. It was perfectly cromulent before those games.
Right.
Also, Gary Oldman is in it, right? And who's the other guy?
Isn't Snoop Dogg in one of them? I don't remember if... I think that was
Snoop
LA.
Dogg- They did some music for it, I think, right?
I thought
Or
there was
maybe
like
it
a hidden... I thought there was a thing like the packages
like a
in GTA where if you collected them all, then you could play as... But you had to collect like
Oh,
150 fucking knickknacks from all over the map to do it.
Yeah, it had a pretty good. It had like a pretty good soundtrack, also. I don't know. There wasn't a lot going on back then, so
Yeah, I remember thinking that like one of those, the first one I guess was fine, and then like Sleeping Dogs was, that was a
Actually, when you said Dead to Rights, I was thinking of Sleeping Dogs. I was gonna say it had good, fist fighting stuff going on, but that's Sleeping Dogs.
Yeah.
also great rain slicked, like Japanese streets or whatever. Or
It's the
Hong
Black
Kong?
Rain of GTA clones.
Mhm.
oh boy,
I believe it is Hong Kong.
yeah.
All right. Well, I guess let's see how, because there's nothing on the like in the interface that says like use this button or combination of buttons to like back out of the game and play a different game. But I'm gonna play Outzone for a little while, so hopefully. Are you ready? Destroy all
The
of
game was
them. Good
fun.
luck.
Mercenaries. That was a good one.
Which one was that?
Mercenaries?
Yeah, which one was that?
That was the one where you like were hunting the terrorists and you had to like they had cards and
Joe, have you tried hitting the yellow button simultaneously?
Both of them? I thought I
Credit
did.
and player start.
Ah, haha. There you go. Thanks, Mike.
there's also that there was a pretty cool Hulk game that came out on PC or on GameCube, GC, not PC.
I remember that. I never played.
Yeah,
it.
Ultimate Destruction. Yeah. Does that count as a GTA clone? I mean, I guess it's a sandbox game, so
I mean,
I guess it counts.
Yeah, like at a certain point, right? Or,
Yeah, that was from the people
Well,
who.
Spider-Man.
That was from the people who eventually made
Prototype.
Prototype.
right?
Yeah. Which I think, I mean, I guess it did well enough to get a sequel, but it felt like the Hulk license probably, like if they would have had, if Prototype would have been like Hulk 2, it probably would have sold better. That company still exists,
they
but I
made a
think they're like a
sequel.
wholly owned, they're like owned by Activision now, which I guess means they're owned
Yeah.
by Microsoft now. I guess. Yeah, Radical Entertainment. They've been around forever. They made the Beavis and Butthead game on Sega Genesis. That was the same company. They were around for. They've been around for a billion
Awesome.
years.
One of the
Remember,
best to
there
ever
was like
do
the
it.
big fight was between Prototype and that Sony open world
Yeah,
game, and both of them
Infamous.
turned out to be pretty boring. Yeah.
I actually thought both of them turned out to be pretty okay. I liked Infamous more than Prototype, but I thought they were both pretty good, honestly.
Played a little bit of the first one of both of those games, and I was like, sure.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's the way. What was the one where you're like a cop, and it was like the Xbox one?
Crackdown?
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that
Like,
game where you're a
that
cop. That
description.
one Xbox game where you're a cop.
Well,
Mike,
in the
Mike got it
context
in
of-
one, so
Mike got it
And I
in
never
one,
even played those
exactly. In
games.
the
Remember that
context
game with
of-
the stuff? You mean Crackdown? Yeah.
Okay, listen. In the context of us talking about games from like at least 10 years ago, the Xbox One and you're a cop, like that's Mike got it in one.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying here?
Yeah,
It wasn't the Xbox One or the original Xbox, Alex.
I didn't-
Xbox.
I just-
That
Oh, you said it's
yeah.
the Xbox
like
One. Okay.
one as
The
in,
one
like,
for
the
the
one
Xbox.
for the
Yes,
Xbox
yes.
360, yes.
I think that was 360. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one that everybody thought was going to be like bad. Like nobody gave it a chance. Then it came out and everybody was like, "This is like super fun." Actually, as it turns out.
Great.
And then both of the sequels turned out to not be. I guess I haven't played the third one. It's on Game Pass, but I don't know if it's on
The
Game
third
Pass.
one is better than the second one, but not as
That
the first
is.
one.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Also,
that's
it's not saying much to say
not-
it's just better than the second one because
Yeah,
the second one is not good.
the second one was not good.
And the secret truth about literally almost like
The second one is good, I guess.
Well, they just
There's some good stuff.
they
and then it
eventually.
turns it goes up its own ass.
Yeah, they eventually make you start using guns. That was the thing I remember where I
Yeah.
kind of dropped off on
Yeah.
that one. Was it there
Like-
started to be sections where they were like,
I want to be able to like jump up on a building and then dive down on people and fire rockets at them and then huck like a car at them.
right, and they're
This is
like,
what I've
what
never
if
cracked
instead you went into a nest of giant insects and they were all like 50 yards away from you, so you have to shoot your gun at them. And I was like,
Yeah.
no thanks. That's not what I want out of this game
No.
whatsoever. Like, not even a fucking little bit. So, yeah. But yeah, I heard the third one was better. I mean, the third one you can play as Terry Crews, so that helps. I don't know if he has his automatic shotgun, though. I mean, that would be a factor for sure.
Would be a factor.
But,
Anyway, all these games kind of not good. They're all like okay at best.
I mean, it was a different era, man.
I know. I'm just like,
Shit, dude, I got a
Wait,
Super
wait,
Bowl.
wait,
Every
this
era
thing
has
about, like,
okay games.
Mercenaries.
It's like, remember this one,
yeah.
and remember this one, remember this one. It's like, yeah, all those are like kind of forgettable.
Japanese, I think.
That does sound like a problem.
It could be worse. They could be American.
That would be much worse.
Alex is a typical weeb who wishes he was Japanese.
What?
Wait, how did you just switch
You really
over to a
think so?
TATE wrestling game?
No.
Yes, sure did.
I've been trying to find an opening for that, Kurt, and like, I don't know.
I just decided that was my best shot.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. No, I don't want to. I don't want to be Japanese. What are you talking about? I can watch anime as an American. I don't need to be.
And in fact, does.
And yeah, as it turns out,
Yeah.
but yes, this is a TATE wrestling game, Mike. Wrestle War. There was a Genesis port of this that did not come out in North America. It is a
And
game
it was
that...
disappointingly non-vertically oriented.
Yes, yes. It was a
like a weird
vertical
choice,
wrestling game, as it turned out. So,
Yeah, it seems like a weird choice to use the screen orientation for a wrestling game.
I mean, there were a lot of games that used this, and it seemed weird, right? Like, Karate Champ is a TATE game. You know, there were games where it just seemed like people were like, yeah, I mean, if we can put it in a cabinet, like, fuck it, let's do it.
I guess when I see those, sometimes I'm like, oh, they mother game.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely... I mean, that's probably why... I guess we don't know this for sure, but that seems like it's probably why Donkey Kong is vertically oriented, right? Because it was converted from radar scope.
Well, Donkey Kong makes sense. You're climbing up a thing, so
That's true.
I can't really argue with the verticality.
I'm gonna Jeff Jarrett him, Eric.
Are you gonna rip off his nipple cage?
No, I'm gonna hit him in the head with the guitar. Just gonna let that sit there, actually.
Well,
So you just let that marinate.
I guess we
Eric's got to
can't-
find another Halloween costume.
Yeah. I don't think I could pull off the nipple cage.
That didn't stop Jeff Jarrett.
I wish. Are you kidding me? Have you listen? The only good thing about Jeff Jarrett's entire fucking career is the nipple cage.
This feels like it was to some extent Sega trying to like answer to Punch Out. You know,
Yeah.
like we'll make a game that is like big and showy and has these very large characters and is
What year is this from? Do you know?
85 or 86, right around. I think it's around the same time.
Oh, okay, so it's older than I would have realized. The whole ring flipping thing pretty strange.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
normally you need a tractor to do that.
that's
I
right.
get it.
That's exactly correct.
Press.
I'm gonna beat the shit out of this guy with not one beer bottle, but 2 beer bottles.
So how's it feel? How's the cabin?
I mean, it's I have big hands and the controls are small, so it is a little. My hand is cramping a little bit, but I mean, overall, it's actually pretty. It feels pretty good. It does feel like the joystick does feel like if I really gave it the business, I might snap it off. But in general, I would say it feels all right.
Like a nice clickiness to the buttons.
There does feel like there's a nice, action, nice button action. The ring flipping thing is one of those, like, obvious, like, we have the technology to do this, so, like, look at this thing we can do, but boy, it doesn't really serve the gameplay all that well, does it?
Very dynamic seeming. Must be kind of confusing when you're playing it to have your left and right switch all the time.
I mean, well, it's not, though, because like, you're not in control when the ring is flipping. So as soon as you, like, do a suplex or throw them into the ropes, like, you lose control until the flipping animation is done. Oop. Speaking of timing, the timer is apparently the real enemy in this game. Because I'm gonna run out of time for a second match in a row. He took a pretty good bump on that clothesline for a video game character. Saved by the bell. He kicked out of a pin or whatever. Okay, that's enough for us. 89. That actually says Mike. So I was wrong. I thought it's later than I thought.
Well, because it looks a little good for an 86 game.
Yeah,
That's a little good.
Let's check out Alex's favorite game on here, Sengoku Aces. It's very Japanesey, yes. This is another one where I sort of feel like oh, I changed the display options while I'm in game. Okay. I'm gonna let's take a look at some of the AV options before I load into that actually. Let's sharpen. Let's see what that does. What the fuck was I just talking about before I did that? That does look sharper.
Son Goku.
Yeah,
You're
it's...
talking about how cool Goku is.
That's why Alex loves it so much.
Getting a lot of movement on the stream right now. I don't know if anyone else can see it.
It looks frozen up to me.
Great. Oh, now I remember what I was saying. It is a little frustrating to me that they included an English language option for like the menus and stuff, but they didn't include like both the regional versions of the ROMs where they exist. Especially since, like, I mean, really, there's probably not a great deal of additional work, unless the rights to it are held by like some other random publisher, which is typically not the case for a lot of these older games. Like, the rights are reverted to the people who made them, or they're still with the original publisher. Like, you'd think that they would be able to just put the, both versions of the ROM in there, but oh well, I guess. Yeah, so this is one of those, like, feudal Japan steampunk shoot-'em-up thing. It's similar to, like, is it Musha Alest? Not to be confused with, or Robo Alest, not to be confused with. Huh?
Mushi Hime-sama called?
No, that's Bug Princess.
But it's also kind of feudal Japan, isn't it?
I mean, insects of feudal Japan, I suppose.
But aren't you a person walking around on the ground casting magic at bugs?
Yeah, I guess. Was that? I mean, I look. The American school system is not great at teaching other countries' history, but if there was a giant bug invasion in medieval Japan, I missed it. That's all I'm saying.
They don't like talking, but it's a very sensitive period.
Yeah, we don't talk about what they did in China in World War II. We don't talk about the giant bug invasion of the mid '80s. Stuff.
No, Mushihime Same is literally like Lord Bug Princess or Lady Bug Princess. Like that's the exact translation of the title of that game.
Lords are very feudal, don't you know?
That's true. That is true. That is true.
Well, I like the gigantic, I forget what those are called, the big red head thing.
The Daruna, yeah.
Yeah, Daruma.
Yeah, those are good.
We were talking about some vertical shooters earlier today because on the Mister, a whole bunch of new ones have been coming out because of the Toan and Rising Wars, I guess, is kind of how they're being described.
Yeah, what
I was just
Yes. What all? I haven't downloaded that or updated my Mister. So like, what games are all currently available? It's still in beta, isn't it, or is it out of beta now?
There's a lot. There's a whole lot. Because I'm a little mixed up because there's been updates to the cave core.
Right.
That's the Dodonpachi one, right?
Right. Yeah, that's the one that No Object did.
Yes. So the cave core has Esperade and the original Donpachi and Dangan Feveron. And the Rising Core definitely has Armed Police Bat Riders and Battle Garaga, and probably a few more who are not games that I was very familiar with. I have not confirmed. Actually, I guess I could check this out a little later, but I have not confirmed which of the Truxtons are available or not available on Mister. But there's a whole bunch of them, and so I'm definitely itching to set one of my monitors up sideways and do some, full-on TATE stuff soon. I was just wondering what you would recommend in terms of TATE games from like the mid to late 90s, like the...
I mean, I love Dangun Feveron. That's one of my favorites. It's not like super duper punitive. It has a really great soundtrack. The theming is like silly and fun. So that's one that I like. That's kind of my go-to. But I also like Batsugun. I don't know if that's available yet. That's also on Saturn. But I like Batsugun a lot. That was the last Toa Plan game. Truxton 2 is a lot of fun. It was, if you remember, I did that like tournament thing was that last summer that I did that, where I played a bunch of like random games on stream for like high score, and Truxton 2 was one of them. And I hadn't played it before that. It's super hard. In fact, I think a lot of people consider it the hardest Toa Plan game, which is like...
That sounds like it's saying something.
Yeah. So there's some stuff going on there, but I think it's fun. It probably gets super frustrating when you reach a certain point, but as far as I've played it, I thought it was a lot of fun. Trying to think of what else like would be in those cores. I mean, Kingdom Grand Prix, which is on this thing, is like a fun thing just because it's like a unique take. Because like part of it is like, yes, like shoot. It's sort of like oh my god, Twinkle Star Sprites. Not in the way that Twinkle Star Sprites is a puzzle game and a shoot 'em up, but in the way that it's a shoot 'em up and something else. So it's a shoot 'em up and a racing game, and like blowing everything up is part of it, but also you do have to finish ahead of your opponents to like score well and advance. I think even to like move on, you have to like, let's find out. Let's play it. Let's play some.
Qualify.
Yeah. I've played a little bit of it, and we'll play some more of it. This one also, I believe, made it to the Saturn in some capacity. So. Also, in the future, when like my internet is being fucking stupid like it is tonight, remind me to just record the stream and then like delete the live stream version and upload the recording like after the fact. That's what I should be doing, but it's way too late to do that now.
I didn't even hear what you said.
There you go.
Alright, I'm back.
Not a minute too soon.
Get him.
I'm gonna be a robot named Honest John. Yeah, so there are enemies and there are like other racers, and you can bump the other racers and you can
Bunch of Daisy.
yes. And you can try to like knock them into enemy ships. But you can't just like shoot them and blow them up.
That would be unsporting.
Right, exactly. But your bombs will they'll have a bad day. But also, yeah, okay, so this is part of it, right? Is like to get past them like a good, lap time, not like a fun time. You kind of want the opponents to help you like shoot the boss. I'm gonna play a little bit of one more thing. Like, I don't even know if this. I might just have to fucking hide this stream because it's so. How bad has it been for you guys have been watching?
Lots of freezing.
Lovely.
The ways of the internet are mysterious. I used to have a bunch of problems, and I have no idea. They went away, but I didn't do anything, and they haven't come back.
Yeah, I
Well, it wasn't you,
wonder.
it was your internet service performed a dark ritual.
Well, I'm happy they did.
I honestly wonder if it's
Oh, but yeah, it was
because
fucking cool.
I have my mesh network satellite that's in this room set to the 5 gigahertz band, and maybe I should have switched it to the 2.4 because the door's closed. Like, I'm wondering if that's.
Did you say it was in the room with you?
It's in the room with me, yes. But it's a mesh pod, so it's
No,
like
but
getting
it's a satellite, not
it's a
the
satellite,
waves,
not the
okay.
router. Yeah.
I'd experiment with that, but I don't know if that would be. I guess it depends on how far away your other one is.
I'm not gonna. I mean, I'm almost done, so I'm not gonna mess with it now. But I will in the future. Like maybe I'll do like a test stream thing and try setting it to the 2.4, like intentionally switching the channel to one of the 2.4 gigahertz and closing the door and seeing if it makes a difference. But right now, I want to play some Batsugun because Batsugun's good. Although the weird thing about Batsugun is like there was going to be another like a revision of Batsugun, and it never came out in arcades because Toho Plan like cratered before it happened, to my understanding. But it was included on the Saturn version, so like realistically the Saturn version of Batsugun is like the superior version of this game because the revision version is kind of the preferred version. And I played a bunch of this right after I got my satiator. I played a bunch of Batsugun on Saturn, and I tend to agree with that. Like I felt like the revision was a little better. So one of the interesting things about Batsugun is that not only does your weapons power up in like the normal way they would in a shoot 'em up like this, right? Which is You pick up icons, they power up your weapons. But also, if you look at the bottom of my screen, you can see there's a level gauge. So there's like this vague RPG element to this game where like your overall, like you'll get to points where your shot won't go below a certain power even when you die because you're leveled up to a certain point, and so you just don't like, you know, go under that point anymore, which is kind of an interesting like way of doing it. Also, all of the weapons, sort of similar to the Donpachi series, which this is before that, because this is like the last Toaplan game, so this is before Cave, but like, if you tap, you can see there's a lot of sparkles in my lightning, which like do extra damage, and if I hold, they're only occasional, so there's like a hold version and a like rapid shot version of each weapon, which again, the difference isn't in Dodonpachi or Donpachi, but it's similar, like conceptually it's similar, of like, you know, it does a slightly different thing when you mash versus holding it down. Also, it has a really good soundtrack.
We'll talk really good soundtracks. That Battle Garaga.
Mm-hmm.
Primo FM synth on that one.
Yeah, I think people's negative experiences, especially people who are my age or younger, you know, your age-ish or younger, Mike, is like the home systems, like you know, the Genesis, and there were a lot of people who a lot of developers who didn't use good sound hardware to make music on the Genesis, and so like our impression of what FM synth was like not great. But it turns out that like actually FM synth is really fucking rad, and you can do a lot of really good stuff with it if you put in the effort. Like you don't have to be Yuzo Koshiro to get like kick-ass tunes out of an FM synth chip. Like it can be done.
But it helps.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. 100% helps, but so this game also has like a scoring system, which I was really focused when I was playing on Saturn on like trying to get a 1 credit clear, so I had not yet like gotten to like how can I do like really sick scoring stuff. But, you know, not using bombs is like part of it, which like this is one of those games where like there's going to be a bunch of bullets and you're going to have to bomb your way out of trouble, and that's like just kind of how it is. But as you can see, since I'm level 2, my gun does stay like a certain amount of powered up now when I die or even when I continue. And so that's pretty neat. But yeah, there's some scoring stuff happening here. It doesn't have like a super duper complicated scoring system like Mars Matrix or anything, but it's also several years before that, so.
What's this one called again?
Batsugan.
Batsugan. Looks nice.
So this would be, I assume this would be on the Toaplan core. If this probably runs on same or similar hardware to Truxton 2, if that's on the, but that's probably, I mean, it's the last Toaplan board. Yes, the sequel to Truxton. That would be like the last Toaplan arcade board. So I don't know if that's like available yet on Mister, because like I said, I haven't run the update all script on my Mister in a few months, so I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say that I think we're gonna call it a night here. I have dropped 42% of the frames that I have tried to send according to OBS tonight, so I think
those are unimportant frames.
Those were the sickly weak frames that didn't deserve to find their way to the stream.
Those were the side frames that are been matted out to make the TATE work.
That's right.
So if it's 42, that means what? The rest of them I can't. Sorry, I'm fighting a dinosaur. I
Uh-huh.
can't even do simple math right now.
58.
Thank you. So okay, so it's worse than I thought. I was gonna say, oh, so that's still a D. I'm like, no, actually, so you fail no matter
Failed.
what.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yep. Failing
It
grade.
depends a lot on the system that you're using.
Yeah, that's true.
Different universities have different scores.
That's true. And also, maybe I'm being graded on a curve. How many other streamers dropped a bunch of frames tonight? You don't know.
I guess that's true.
Anyways, we're gonna call it, now that it looks like it's stable and like bright green. Now I'm gonna go ahead and end the
What
stream.
the
So
fuck?
that's what I was just thinking.
I can't believe it either, Alex.
Yeah.
Oh,
So if
bullshit.
you suffered through all of this, thanks, and we'll be back next week with something different. And maybe I'll be back over the weekend to fuck around with this like mesh pod and see if the 2.4 gigahertz maybe gives me a more stable result with my office door closed, because I don't. My wife is working on like her actual job stuff, and I don't need her hearing me talking shit about 30-year-old video games while she's doing that. So, anyways, at any rate, we'll be around soon. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Good night.